welcome back to my channel. Today we are not talking about clothes. We are talking about something that is universally applicable to anybody who rides a bike in a group. And today we are talking about 5 ways to make your group ride more inclusive. So I've been doing group rides for a very long time, and this is my experience over the years. You know, we've all been on those group rides where people get left behind, and I'm normally that person. If you've ridden bikes with me, you know I'm kind of slow, and it never feels good. So these are my tips to make your group ride more inclusive, and so that everybody leaves feeling like they're part of the group. Number 1, be honest about your pace and stick to it. I am not saying you need to go slow. No, you can go as fast as you want to, as long as you say that beforehand and stick to it. So if you say your ride is going to be 12 to 14 miles an hour on the flats with regrouping at the top of hills, make sure the leader has a bike computer or some way to track their speed and goes at that pace. Because if I show up and I'm expecting that and I know that I can ride at that speed for however many miles the ride is going to be, that's what I'm expecting. Number 2, this might be a little controversial, but I highly encourage you to publish your route. Whether that's Ride with GPS, Google Maps, or whatever map software you like to use. I really appreciate it when rides publish what route they're gonna go on. That way people who have a bike computer can put it loaded onto their bike computer, but also that way you just know what you're getting yourself in for. Whether there's a big climb you need to prepare for mentally, maybe you can only go for half the ride and need to stash your car halfway through the ride. There's many reasons why somebody would want to know the route, and publishing it beforehand just helps alleviate any of that anxiety somebody might feel by not knowing where the ride is going. The third one, this is one of my favorites, is to have a sweeper at the back of the group. And there's a couple of important roles that this sweeper has. So this person needs to know where the ride is going and ideally the route that you're taking. That way, if the group gets split up, the person in the back can help shepherd the rest of the group to the intended destination. Ideally, this person also has some basic mechanical skills, whether that's how to change a flat tire, how to put a chain back on, you know, just some basic things. But that way the folks in the back, you know, if something happens or you get split up at a red light, there's somebody back there to kind of take care of them. And I also really enjoy it when it's like a faster rider or a stronger rider at the back of the group who can keep up a conversational pace with those riders who might be at the back of the group who might be struggling. So that's number 3, is to have a sweeper at the back of the group. Number 4, this is a giant pet peeve of mine, is to regroup at the top of hills and actually wait for the people in the back to catch their breath. So funny story about this, I'm always at the back of the group, and I can't even tell you how many times I have, you know, gotten up to the top of the hill and then the front of the group says, okay, Marley's here, we can go. And I'm just like, yo, I'm still catching my breath. Like, what is going on? But there was one time when I was on an electric bike, so I was at the front of the group. And, you know, I always wondered, like, what do they talk about at the front of the group when they're like waiting for everybody else? It turns out it was really boring. I thought maybe there was like some hot gossip happening, or like, I don't know, maybe just like exciting things. No, they just like stood there in silence. So I don't know. I'd much rather be at the back of the group. But that's not the point. The point is, give the people in the back of the group a chance to catch their breath and actually recover, because they are working just as hard, if not harder, than you at the front of the group. All right, and finally, my last tip to make your group ride more inclusive is to use accurate descriptions for what the ride is actually going to be like. Stop it with the beginner or advanced. Nobody knows what that means. You know, if you mean slow or if you mean technical terrain, you know, for example, if it's a group mountain bike ride and you need to know how to ride single track or go on like a rooty or a bumpy terrain, include that in the description, because just saying beginner doesn't mean anything. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a beginner, and I want to be super, super clear about that. Being a beginner is awesome. Welcome to cycling. Like, you have drank the Kool-Aid, and I hope you never go back. But for group rides, saying beginner, what does that actually mean? You know, if you're going on a road ride, do you need to know how to hold a pace line? Do you need to know how to draft safely? There's all sorts of different skills that might be needed for a specific ride, and being intentional with that in the description is going to help make sure that the people who show up to that ride are safe and actually appropriate to be on that ride. So those are my 5 tips to make your group ride more inclusive. I hope that they're useful for you, and I hope that you're able to incorporate them. I would love to hear what else you do to make your group ride more inclusive. You know, drop those into the comments down below. Share this video with your ride leaders, share this with your bike clubs, and join me actually in Steamboat. If you're going to Steamboat Gravel, I will be leading a no drop inclusive ride on Saturday morning at, I think it's at 9 a.m. with Chamois Butter, who is one of I'm a new ambassador for them. So I've got this sweet little sweatshirt, but you can experience what one of my rides is like if you're going to be in Colorado for Steamboat Gravel. Thanks for joining my channel. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I will see you soon.